Hey everybody, it's Brian again. Welcome to the full button tutorial of the 2023 Toyota RAV4 XLE Premium. This is the gas model, which you can compare to the hybrid, which I also have a video on. Typically I like to start from left to right, then I'll work my way down to buttons near the shifter, go to overhead features, and finish up with the screen. But with that said, let's begin. On the door of every RAV4 now, we have auto down, auto up windows all around. In front, there's a dedicated button to lock the windows, and then the door locks are here with two little nubs to let you know, without looking, which button will lock the doors. In front of those two buttons, I have the mirror adjustment. By clicking the L, I can adjust the left mirror, then the right mirror like so, and then there's a neutral position. So if I hit these arrows, nothing will happen. Now, since this XLE Premium has the upgraded weather package, it also includes the seat memory. So once I find the perfect spot for the seat, while holding set, I can pick the seat that I want it to go to, and then I simply push the button if the seat was ever changed. And of course, the seat's standard to be electronic, so I have three different buttons: lumbar support, recliner, and the moving forward, up and down. So I can simply toggle forward, toggle back, go up and down with a twist, recline it like so, or give myself more or less cushion on my lower back. Down below, on the most outside lever, is the gas cap, which is how I remember because the gas cap is on the outside of the vehicle. And then the inside lever is the hood latch for the engine, which the engine is on the inside of the vehicle. On the steering wheel, I can pull this lever down, which will telescope and raise and lower the steering wheel. And once I find the perfect spot, I just lock the lever back into place and the steering wheel is good to go. The dashboard buttons on this XLE Premium include the dimming for the speedometer, which is a little speedometer with a light bulb, and then you can click it into the brightest position. The automatic high beams, which will activate when you put the headlights into the automatic mode. The defrosting wiper blades, which are part of the weather package. The heated steering wheel, which is also part of the weather package. And the height adjustable power hatchback, which is standard. The headlight stalk has 4 positions. We have DRL off for daytime running lights off, which means no lights at all. Automatic, which will give us daytime running lights, and then when it's dark out or you're in a tunnel, it'll kick on the taillights, upgrade the headlights, activate the automatic high beams, and it'll give you the interior lights lit up in a nice light blue. Parking lights, which will be dimmer front lights, tail lights on, all buttons lit, and the tried and true all lights on all the time. One last part of the headlight stalk here, we have the operation for the fog lights, off and on. On the passenger side, we have the operation for the front wipers and the rear wiper. So if I pull the stalk towards me, it'll wash the front windshield. If I push it away or twist it away, it'll wash the back windshield. And then I can click it down once to go into the automatic rain sensing mode, which is part of the weather package. After I go into auto mode, I can change the sensitivity to the rain sensing wipers, or if I click it down again, it's going to be low constant. The third and final click will be the high constant, and then the back part of this, the very end, has 3 positions for the rear wiper. I have off, once in a while, and constant on. The steering wheel has 2 pads, one on the left, one on the right, with no hidden buttons in the back. I have the operation arrows with the select and back button to the MID, which will go through all the different menus. That's going to be coming up soon. Then I can answer and hang up phone calls here. I can change the volume to the phone calls or the song playing, and do my voice commands or Siri or Google Assistant right there. If I push this button quickly, the Toyota Assistant will pop up on the screen, but I have to push and hold to do the Siri or the Google Assistant while I'm connected to the wireless CarPlay / Android Auto system. And for the automatic cruise control, we operate it through this ring and the top button over here. All I have to do is hit this button here. The screen will say radar ready, and I can set it, increase speed, decrease speed, and cancel it like that. Now pay special attention to the symbol here for the automatic cruise control, because once I select it, it's going to look like this in green on the screen. But if I push and hold this, it's going to change the way it looks to be the constant speed cruise control. So you'll see here on the top left of the screen, I have the symbol here with the arrow in the car. But if I turn it off and now I push and hold it, it'll go to the constant speed cruise control, which has no sensitivity and won't brake for you. Also on the right side of the steering wheel, I have the sensitivity to the cruise control. So when I'm in the automatic cruise control system and it's set, I can change the following distance or sensitivity level here, and it'll show me on the MID screen, which is the multi-information display, what level I have it set to, and it'll show me when it's sensing the cars in front of me. Down below that, I have the lane departure alert with lane tracing assist. This will alert you when you're going out of your lane and try to steer you back in the lane, and also keep you in the center of the lane when you're in the cruise control. Below those, I have a couple music buttons. I have the mode, which will go through AM, FM, Bluetooth, and Sirius radio, which is standard for 90 days on every new Toyota in the US. But if I push and hold this, it'll be a secret mute/pause button. Then, of course, this will seek and track through the songs that I have playing. The Speedo Cluster is a very easy readout. I have the tachometer on the left here with the parking brake symbol on the bottom there for the parking brake that self-applies. So if I take it out of park, you'll see it disappears. So the parking brake disengaged. And when I put it back in park, within 2 seconds, that parking brake puts itself right back on. On the very right side here, I have my fuel level with the little fuel symbol. It has an arrow pointing to the left to signify that the gas cap is actually on the left side of the car, and then the engine temperature right there. Now there's a little stalk on the bottom right where I can go through the trip, which is over here on the bottom right of the screen, or the odometer, and then I can push and hold to clear the trip like so, and I can pick where I want to be. The MID is the center screen here, which gives us our speedometer, which is kind of like a rainbow. We can change the way that looks, which I'll show you shortly. But if I push the different drive modes by the shifter, which I'll show you in a couple minutes, the eco mode, which will save gas, turns green, sport mode goes red, and normal mode goes white. So those can be changed on the fly. And just a little preview of the shifter buttons. Those are right over here. And then we have a couple off-road buttons here for the multi-terrain select. So when I push the snow mode, it's going to show some snowflakes on the top right, and it's going to say snow and green. Mud and sand will turn off some of the safety features here so it doesn't try to stop, and it goes sandy colored. And then I have the rock and dirt, which is like a gray color here. To turn those off, I just hit normal mode, and you can change any of these modes while moving. Say I'm in sport mode and I hit snow, I can do snow sport mode, or I can do eco, snow, or normal snow like so. If I hit normal again, it'll turn off the snow mode. Now the MID stands for multi-information display because it's showing you different information that's pertinent to the drive. So in the bottom left I have the gear I'm in, so if I shift into a different gear, I don't need to look down at the shifter. I know I'm in drive or reverse or park like that. On the bottom right, of course, you have the odometer that we looked at, and then on the bottom middle, we have the outside temperature with the time on the top right. When the headlights decide to turn on, there's going to be a little light bulb symbol in green. There's my fog light symbol in the middle. And then the A is just the automatic high beams, which I can turn on and off. But a fun fact, with the automatic high beams on, I can override them by pushing the stalk forward, and the high beams will come on right away. But when I'm in the automatic high beam system, the little blue symbol will pop on and off when the car decides it needs high beams. And now comes the MID, the multi-information display, the center part here that we can change using the arrows on the left of the steering wheel. So if I go side to side, I have a couple different menus here symbolized by the icons on the bottom. We're going to take a couple minutes to go over all of those. Starting with the eco menu, which is the leaf badge. I can go up and down to a couple different menus to see distance to empty, my average economy, which don't judge the car, it's never really been driven yet, and then an eco indicator. If I go to the right, that's going to be my driver assistance page, which shows me some of the driver assistance systems if they're on or off. And if I go down, I have the compass. Over to the right again is the music menu. If I turn that on, I can go through the different modes and I can see what song is playing. Again, this is a car with an I symbol for vehicle information, so it's going to tell me information about the drive, my individual tire pressures, and the all-wheel drive control to see how much power each wheel is getting. Now this is one of the fun menus, the settings menus, so I have to hold the OK button to change the settings here. So here's the LTA, lane trace assist. I can change if the lane center's on or off, the sensitivity, sway warning, which is the car thinking if I'm driving sleepy, and the sensitivity to that. If I hit the back button, I can now change the pre-collision system, which is part of Toyota Safety Sense. This uses the camera in the windshield and the sensor on the grille to basically mitigate any crashes with cars, or it'll sense if you're going to hit a person, it will alert you, and if you don't brake, it'll brake for you. So I can turn that on and off and change the sensitivity right here. For the blind spot monitor, that's standard on the XLE Premium. Those are the little orange lights on your side mirrors. I can turn them off, turn them back on. When I turn it back on, both bulbs will light up. It's a little orange bulb in the corner of your side mirrors to let you know if somebody's riding in your blind spot. Part of the blind spot monitor system is rear cross traffic alert. This will alert you when it senses moving cars behind you and sometimes people walking around when you're reversing. And road sign assist, that's a little car reading a road sign. If I push and hold OK, I can change the notification method so that it'll alert me when I'm going over the speed limit visually or visually and auditorily. So that's going to show me a little orange rim around the speed limit sign, which will display on the screen. But there's others over here. I can do no notification and above speed limit. Hold on, there we go. See that? Or I can go back. Now on some of the Toyotas you can actually change what speed it'll start alerting you. But going back here, if I hit down, I can go to vehicle settings. PBD is your opening hatchback. If I push and hold OK, I can turn it on and off. I can change the height between 5 different levels, which is great. And I can change the volume. So as a pretty loud beep when it opens, I can change that as well. Hitting the back button here, I can go to the auto start stop off. I can do extended or on, or I'm sorry, that's not the off feature. That's when it's on, so I can tell you how long it stays off. There is a dedicated button to turn that feature off. This feature here is the feature where the engine turns off with the red lights. I will say a lot of people are not a fan of that feature, but on the bottom right of the climate control, we have that button over there. When you push that button, it's going to turn off that feature that kills the engine at the red lights. This adjusts the way that feature works. Here's our tire pressure system where you can set pressures and change the wheels. Great for the technicians. The rear seat reminder, that will remind you when you turn the car off to check your rear seats, just in case you're babysitting and you forget that there's a little kid or a baby back there, or dogs. And scheduled maintenance, I can do a reset if I'm one of the technicians or DIY. And for the last one, we have the meter settings, which is cool. This is where you can change the style. You can do language units, but check this out, meter type. I can go to digital. Check that out. So I have a digital speed up top and it gets rid of those. Pretty interesting, nothing crazy. I personally like that nice rainbow over the top. The eco indicator is just this little green leaf that pops up when you're driving economically. He goes away when you're stepping on it hard. If you don't like that reminder, you can turn him off. And then we can start customizing what the actual individual menus show. I can turn the MID off, or I can hit the back button to turn it back on. I can go to default settings, but one other thing, the pop-up display, I can change some of the things that pop up when I'm changing them, like my turn-by-turn navigation, telephone notifications, audio operation, and volume. So these are little pop-up notifications when you're changing things. If those are annoying, you can turn those all off in there. Now going back, and to the right is the warnings menu. That's the last menu. It will light up orange and the little symbol will stay orange, and on the bottom when maintenance is coming due, if there's something wrong with the sensor, if the car senses something, it's going to stay there and it's not going to let you forget. And that's the MID. Most people's favorite screen is the Eco screen. They like to see their gas economy. But like I said, you can change the meter type if you like the digital speed. It's an easy reader. People like it. And if you like that sport mode, check out the way that matches. Let's go to buttons by the shifter. For the buttons by the shifter, I showed you these. So we have the different drive modes here. Eco give you better gas mileage. Normal is a blend between these two. And Sport gives you a little more power. Snow mode will take off in second gear instead of first to reduce your wheel slip. Kind of torques you down a little bit in case you don't have the best throttle control. Mud and sand will turn off the safety systems and alter the way the automatic all-wheel drive system works to enhance your traction. Be careful driving in the sand though, guys. It can get sticky really fast. And then rock and dirt mode is also going to adjust the way the all-wheel drive system works in order to enhance your traction. Now the parking brake looks like a button over here, and it is, but you don't need to push this because it disengages when you take it out of park and it re-engages when you put it back in park. They kind of give you this here so that the technicians can operate, or if you want it to never be used, you can push and hold that and it'll never come on. My personal suggestion, just always use it because you're parking on the brake and not the parking pawl. And the last button over here by the shifter is the brake holder, and this allows you to come to a stop while you're in drive and then take your foot off of the brake and it'll hold it for you. And to go forward, you just give it a little bit of gas. Of course, you must be buckled up to use this feature, but I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and push the hold, and I'm going to see hold here in green when the system is on, and then down here in gold when it's holding for me. So I can take my foot off of the brake, and I'm in drive, and it holds it for me. But when I give it a little bit of gas, you'll see the gold disappears, but when I come to a stop, it holds, then foot can come right off the brake. But remember, that feature doesn't work in reverse because that way you don't have to guess if you're in drive or reverse. You can just give it a little bit of gas and go. If you got an XLE Premium with the advanced technology package, there'd be a wireless charger here with a little power button and a green light that will go orange while you're charging and green when you're charged. But we have a USB charger over here and a classic 12 volt in case you need to charge your phone on the fly. And inside of the center console, we have 2 fast chargers as well. As a part of the weather package, we have the heated seats in the front, low, high, and the off position for driver and passenger. And over here we have the off button for the auto start stop, which shuts the engine off on the red lights. But all the way to the left, we can turn off the traction control. So say you want more power to the wheels, say you parked and you got a bunch of snow, or you're on a gravel trail and you just want to kind of do it yourself, you can turn off the traction control like that. If you shut the car off and turn it back on, the system resets and track control turns back on. Next up, climate control. So for the climate control, we see these 2 big knobs. These operate the temperatures for driver and passenger, but when I'm synchronized, I can change the whole car like this. When the passenger moves theirs, you're now unsynchronized, so if the driver touches theirs, it's going to be 2 different temps. But if I synchronize, it'll always match the driver, and I can once again change the whole car as a whole. On the left, we can turn the system off. We can resume it by hitting the fan speed. Or I can set it automatic and it'll modulate the fan speed based on the temperature I have it set to. On the right, we have synchronize and the air conditioner next to the recirculate button, which you'll always want to use these together in the hot weather, so you're recirculating cool air and conditioning air that's already conditioned. Recirculate is also helpful for if you're driving behind a garbage truck or you're in one of those tunnels that smell like exhaust fumes. On the left, we have the front and rear defrost next to each other, which makes sense because there's a very high chance you're going to use that, or this and that together. And we have the Eco Heat and Cool, which will activate when you're in Eco mode, but doesn't have to be used in only Eco mode. What that does is it takes some of that drag off the system of the car. You know, a lot of these 4-cylinder cars, when you put the AC on, there's a little bit of a drag. That kills the drag. The AC might not be as frigid, the heat might not be as scorching, but really it's hard to notice the difference. Then over here, like I said, we have the fan speed, which is right next to the symbol on the screen. And we have the air direction, so it's very easy to toggle through. Everything is next to its area, which makes this a very ergonomic system. The last button here will cancel the rear vents. So say I want to maximize efficiency or my rear passengers are cold, I can cancel the rear vents or turn them back on like this, which wraps up the RAV4 XLE Premium climate control system. For overhead features, if you had the digital rearview mirror package, when you flip this lever, the digital rearview mirror will pop up and you'll have a wider peripheral view. It'll be automatically dimming with 3 buttons here to hook you up to garages and some settings button like that. Moving forward, standard on all of them is a small driving glasses or sunglasses case. Operation for the moonroof, which is standard on the XLE Premiums. I can open and close it or ventilate it up and down. Of course, I can't demonstrate because of the weather, but we have the sliding sunshade as well. In front of the sunroof buttons, or moonroof, whatever you want to call it, we have the individual lights, which are white LED. Then I have the sun button, which will light up all the lights in the car. And then I have the operation for those lights to come on when the door is opened. So we've done the top, we've done the bottom, we've done the Speedo. Now we get to the meat and potato, the screen. Let's keep it simple. So from the factory, we have the new software system with Toyota, wireless CarPlay system, wireless Android Auto. When you connect to Bluetooth, it's going to pop up right here. Do download the Toyota app and create your account because it'll match your account to this and make it a little bit easier and more involved. But basically, when you connect to Bluetooth, this screen is going to look like your cell phone screen, and you can do text messages, phone calls, calendar, Audible, Apple Music, Google Music, Amazon, stuff like that. Waze, Google Maps, Apple Maps. You just tap the app and it pops up. I don't really need to show you. You just tap an app and it pops up. If you know how to use your phone, you know how to use the CarPlay system. But for the Toyota software system, I'm going to show you a couple tips and tricks. It comes with a cloud-based navigation system, which is really nice to see, so definitely check that out. Then we have the radio here, which is going to be more of a widget style radio that you can turn on and off like this or change the volume. Of course, there's volume controls on the steering wheel. I can tune the radios, set some favorites, and going down here I can connect my phone to Bluetooth, say I'm a guest or I don't want to do the app at the moment, I just want to do it real quick. And then on the car we have some trip information about the trip, how long the vehicle's been running, the gas mileage, any vehicle alerts that are stored in here. But here's the good stuff, settings. So I'm going to go through the important things to try and keep the video concise. Bluetooth and devices, that's just where you connect stuff. It'll show you different profiles saved. General settings, I can turn the beep on and off. I can change the clock. I can edit the keyboard, clear my history of searches, and change my language and units. Going down to Wi-Fi, I can enable the hotspot, but on the display, check this out, I can turn off the screen, but listen to music. All I have to do is tap the screen once, and then again, and the screen comes back on. Say this is a little bright for me, even though it's set to automatic, it'll go dark mode at night, but say I want it dark mode all the time. Tap automatic, dark mode, always black. But I'm gonna go back to automatic because it's easier to see for the video, but I can also change the brightness and the contrast to the screen. Going on our way back down, I have sound. This will actually let me change the equalizer, treble, mid, and bass. So I can change the treble, mid, and bass. And on the standard JBL system, turning up the treble and the bass, keep the mid in the middle. For me personally, I feel like that works with all genres, but you can twist it up however you like. Continuing down to vehicle customize, there's a couple features here you might like. On the light controls, I can change the sensitivity to the auto lights. I can do the auto off timer for when they turn off when I shut the car off, edit the daytime running lights, and change the auto off for the interior lights. So say when I turn the car off I need more than 15 seconds, I can change that right there. For the door control, all new Toyotas come from the factory that will lock when you put it in drive, unlock when you put it in park. I can change that. So say when it goes into park I want to keep it locked, I can turn off the auto unlock right there. And for the climate, very simple, auto AC. I suggest leaving that one on. And then we got some dealer info stuff. We can check for software updates. And then for apps, it's just going to kind of bring you over to the Apple CarPlay stuff. That pretty much wraps up the Toyota software without going over the stuff that more the dealership is going to use. It's simple. Change the clock, adjust the lights, adjust the door lock settings. But back to vehicle customize, there's one more thing that you might like. The 2-press unlock, you can change for the key fob, lock when the door's opened, but if I go down, there's auto relock timer settings, and these two are two of my favorites. The feedback lights, so say you don't want the vehicle to blink when you lock and unlock it, you can do that if you want to be a little bit more inconspicuous or if it's too bright in the garage. And check this out, the Toyotas are loud when you lock and unlock them. Say you want to tone them down, you can tone down the sound, or if you're hard of hearing, you can tone it up. Really cool, very simple. That wraps that up. Just another pro tip, when you're on the CarPlay or the Android Auto, you will have a couple different settings in your settings app where you can change like the wallpaper and stuff like that, but it's very simple. I will say I do enjoy the upgrades to the software system. Camry owners, it's coming soon. That wraps up the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you're out there and you're shopping, I hope this helped you make your decision. The RAV4 is a great car, still simple and true to Toyota with some modern stuff added in. Please consider subscribing. I promise it'll be worth it for more future content. But with that being said, be sure to check out the review video to this car. I will see you in the next video. Peace.